Hey everyone, welcome back to NDC, and today we're taking a look at Grid and GridRow. They have true column alignment, cell spanning, per column anchors. We're going to be quickly diving into the building blocks, alignment, spanning, and building a really simple dashboard example. So let's go ahead and dive on in and learn how we can use Grid in our own app. Alright, just as a note, I am going to be running this on Xcode in a blank SwiftUI iOS template file. Let's start off by exploring Grid in its most basic form. So in our empty SwiftUI view here, we can actually establish a grid by using grid with the capital G. We'll then want to add our brace. Grid is essentially the container, whereas we use GridRow to define a row, and each view inside it becomes a cell. So within the braces of our grid here, we're going to create a GridRow. We'll then create another brace, and I'll press return. Now we can include some information, any views that we want to use. I'm just going to do the most basic view, which is a text view. I'll have it say name. Then we'll add another view here, and I'll just have my name here. So right now it doesn't look like anything too special, kind of just looks like we have text in the middle of the screen. We have the two text views of name and then Noah. Let's go outside of this grid row, but still within the grid, and we'll create a new grid row. Same thing, we'll add our braces, and let's add some more text. I'll have this maybe be subscribe, and then this one I'll have be comment. And we can see that the name and subscribe are a little bit more grouped. We essentially have the left information and then the right information. We have two rows and two columns. The right column locks to the width of the widest cell across every row, and that's the whole point. You can't get that from stacked HStacks. So even if I were to add more to comment, notice that it's extending. Same thing if we subscribe, it's going to increase the width based off of the widest cell. Let's now talk about alignment. So our default alignment is currently in the center. For a label value table, you usually want leading on the label and then trailing on the value. There's two levels to set it, the whole grid or per column. So if we were to look at the whole grid, just like with a VStack, we're going to add our argument brackets. We're then going to add alignment. We'll do a colon, dot, and for me, I'm going to do leading, but just like with a lot of the other SwiftUI views, you have those common leading, center, trailing, etc. So we can see the whole grid is now in leading. If you want more control, like let's say per column, we can attach the modifier to the cell you want to anchor. So for my first one here with the name, I'm going to do the dot gridColumnAlignment. From here, we once again have all of those options. So if we were to set this to be leading, only this column is leading. So if we were to add this to the name up top, we can see that get reflected as well. This way you have as much control as you want over all the columns. You can even have label leading, value trailing, set on one cell, or applied to the entire column. You don't repeat the modifier on every single row. Next, let's talk about spanning and headers. So when a cell needs to cross multiple columns, a header, summary row, a footer, we can actually use gridCellColumns. I'm going to take off the alignment on both these items here and just apply it to the entire grid. So something we could do after the first brace, so just before our first grid row, is we can actually add kind of like a header. And I'm going to have this say something like a count. Go ahead and add some font style and headline. Then we can use that gridCellColumns I was talking about. And within the count, it's actually looking for an integer. I'm going to set this to be number 2. Just to show it off a little bit better, I'm going to change this to be account information. And we can see it's spanning across 2 of the cells. So what this does is it has the header across both columns. We then have the 2 data rows below it still aligned. We have one grid with 2 separate layouts. Something you may have also slightly noticed is where this account actually is. This is a pattern that's pretty easy to miss. A view placed directly inside grid, which is this text view here, that doesn't belong to a grid row, gets its own row. The count is now in its own separate row. Okay, let's talk about dividers and cell anchors. We can drop a divider between these 2 grid rows, and we hit a little bit of a problem. Notice on the right side in our preview here, it looks very cursed. Our items are kind of all over the place. It looks a little off. The problem is a divider wants to size itself along both axes. So grid measures it as a full width cell and blows the column math out of proportion. The fix is to tell grid which axes to ignore. So after our divider, we can use the dot grid, and you'll see right here, gridCellUnsizedAxes. We can then use our dot notation, and we can choose vertical or horizontal. Because I'm using a divider, it's going from left to right, horizontal. Let's apply that. And now we have the horizontal divider. I always find dividers are very difficult to see. We now have the horizontal divider between the top grid row here with the name and my name, and then the subscribe and comment. So now the divider draws full width. The columns are still aligned. It's very clean. Essentially, the modifier means don't measure this along the horizontal axis. Within the same family, we also have gridCellAnchor, which overrides where one cell sits inside its slot when shifting the column. Up here at the text of account, I'm going to add the gridCellAnchor, and I'm going to set this to be trailing. Now we can see it's shifted all the way to the right side. One cell, one alignment, and the column behind it doesn't actually move. Okay, and now let's put it together. We're going to create a system stats dashboard, spanning header with some metric cards and a 2x2 grid. We're going to be creating 2 SwiftUI views from template. We're going to be starting off with our metric card. So we have full control and customization. So let's start off with this one, and then we'll put it together in a grid on the dashboard. All right, I'm going to go a little bit quick here. We're going to establish 2 constants. The first is going to be a title of a string value, and then we're going to have a value, which is also a string. Within the variable body sum view, we're going to add a VStack. This is where our cards are going to kind of exist. We'll add some text, which will include that title. We can add some different things like font, maybe caption, some foreground style. We'll add another text to display that value. And we can add some font here, maybe title 2, and we'll also bold it. Outside of the VStack, oh, and make sure I have to fix my let of value. Outside of that VStack, we're going to add a frame to this. We'll have a max width. Let's set this to be infinity, and then alignment of leading. Adding. We can also include a background. I'm just going to go with the autofill. We'll do a bit of a clip shape as well of the rounded rectangle with the corner radius of 12. We can also fix our preview real quick if we want to see what it looks like. We can just put like test. So these are our custom metric cards. Now we'll go ahead and put them in a dashboard view, a new file from template, do dashboard. This way we can use our grid. Alrighty, once again getting rid of the placeholder text, we're going to add a navigation stack, add a brace, and a scroll view. Our braces again. Now we'll add our first grid. Something you'll notice is in the autofill, there's alignment, horizontal spacing, and vertical spacing as well. So let's actually go ahead and explore those. So we'll do our horizontal spacing. We'll do a colon, and we can pass through a number. I'm going to do 16 for this one. It's just like padding. The higher the number, the more spacing you have. And we'll also do our vertical spacing of 16. We can then add our brace for our content. So I'm going to add our header text of maybe system stats. We go ahead and add some font styling just for fun here. Let's do large title and bold it. Then we can use our gridCellColumns. I'm going to set this to be 2. So we know we're going to have one column on the left, another one on the right. And we can also use our gridCellAnchor we explored before. I'm going to set this to be leading. Perfect. Still within our grid, let's make our first grid row. Add our brace. We're going to call upon our metric card, and we'll fill in the title and the value. So this is for system stats. This one will be CPU, and maybe this is how much it's using. I'll say 45%. Let's do another one of our custom metric cards. This one can be memory or RAM, and we'll say 8 GB. So we can see we have our first row. Because we set the title to have the gridCellAnchor of leading, notice it's on the left side, and we have the 2 gridCellColumns, so it can actually span across both. Let's then do our grid row again. If you even wanted to copy and paste to save some time and just change the values, that would totally work. I'll have this one be storage. Let's do 256 GB. And another metric card, maybe network. I'll say, I don't know what's fast, 120 megabytes per second. You can also include some padding at the end of your grids if you want. It is a view. This way it takes it off the sides a little bit more. And we can also include a navigation title of dashboard. And I'm going to set this navigation display mode to be inline. Okay, let's take a look at what we built. The header of system stats here spans both columns. We have 2 rows of 2 cards. The cards fill equal widths because the grid gives each column an equal slot when the cells want to grow. Now, one quick warning before you do replace every layout with grid, grid is not lazy. Every row renders when the view loads. This is fine for a really quick dashboard, maybe a settings panel, a 10-row table, but terrible for a 1,000-row feed. Imagine loading all of Pinterest, 1,000 requests on demand. That really wouldn't work. For a scrolling collection of arbitrary length, that's where LazyVGrid comes in. For a fixed align layout, grid is exactly what you need. So grid and GridRow for true column alignment. We can use the gridCellColumns for spanning headers, even footers if you wanted to, right? Descriptions. We'd also explored using the gridColumnAlignment, where we had set this to be leading to get control per column, and we also had the gridCellAnchor to control it per cell. Even looked at dividers, where we had the gridCellUnsizedAxes, so dividers don't break our math. Again, just as a note, you can reach for LazyVGrid the moment that the data is long, so any like Instagram feeds, Pinterest, where you're loading maybe even photos, would be a good idea to explore LazyVGrid. I will be making a follow-up video on that one as well, so make sure you subscribe or check the SwiftUI Elements Masterclass for that video. Grid is iOS 16+, macOS 13+, and visionOS 1+. Has identical behavior on every single platform. On macOS, it's especially at home in settings panels and data tables where column widths need to lock across rows. So next time your stacked rows don't line up, swap it over to a grid using GridRows. I'll include this GitHub in the description below, as well as a more realistic dashboard example if you do want to poke around in that code. Otherwise, dream big, code bigger, and we'll see you in the next one.